Hi there, and welcome to HT Wisdom. Today, we're having a real talk about something private, but important, especially if you're over 65. Masturbation is natural, but did you know it can quietly affect your health as you age? Most folks don't think twice about it, but your body changes with time, and what once felt harmless might now be draining your energy, hurting your sleep, or even stressing your heart. This isn't about shame, it's about staying informed, staying healthy, and making smart choices for your well-being. Let's dive into what your doctor might not have told you. Let's talk plainly. Your heart isn't what it used to be. After 65, your body handles physical stress differently, and that includes activities like masturbation. You might not think it has anything to do with your heart, but it does. Any activity that causes a sudden spike in heart rate and blood pressure, especially with intensity and no physical warm-up, can place unexpected strain on your cardiovascular system. When you're younger, your arteries are more flexible, and your heart recovers fast. But as you age, your blood vessels naturally stiffen, and your heart doesn't bounce back the way it used to. That's why something that once felt harmless might now leave you dizzy, winded, or with an uncomfortable tightness in your chest. Take William, a 72-year-old retired engineer. He ate well, stayed active, and thought he was in good shape. But after certain, private, moments, he started noticing shortness of breath and a weird pressure in his chest. At first, he brushed it off, just part of aging, right? Eventually, during a routine checkup, he mentioned it to his doctor, who told him that kind of reaction is more common than folks realize, especially if you've got high blood pressure or even minor heart concerns. It's not something to ignore. His doctor didn't say to stop completely. He just advised William to pay attention to how his body responds and not to overdo it. The reality is, your heart doesn't appreciate sudden, intense bursts of activity out of nowhere. You wouldn't sprint up a flight of stairs without warming up first. So why expect your heart to handle other sudden exertions differently? And if you've ever felt lightheaded, unusually tired, or had fluttering or irregular beats afterward, that's your body waving a red flag. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. You've got one heart, and it's been working hard for you for decades. Don't let a lack of knowledge put extra strain on it. Listen to your body. If something feels off, slow down, take breaks, be mindful. You've earned the right to enjoy life. But do it wisely, your health and longevity depend on it. Let's cut to the chase. If you've been feeling tired, mentally foggy, or just plain worn out for no obvious reason, it might not just be getting older. Your nervous system could be running on empty, and frequent masturbation might be part of the problem. Every time you do it, your body uses energy, physically, emotionally, and neurologically. Your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical, giving you a quick high. But the crash afterward? That's real, especially as you age. Back in your younger years, your nervous system could handle the ups and downs. You bounced back fast. But after 65, your system isn't as quick to recover. That same rush can now leave you drained, sluggish, and struggling to focus the next day. Think of your nervous system like a rechargeable battery. Every stressful moment, emotional response, or burst of physical activity drains it. In your 30s or 40s, that battery recharged overnight, but now, it takes longer to bounce back. Too much stimulation, even the kind that feels good, can start depleting your reserves. Richard, a 69-year-old retired teacher, was feeling unusually tired all the time. He thought it was normal aging until he took a short break from certain habits. Within a couple of weeks, he felt sharper, more awake, and didn't need those midday naps anymore. The difference was clear. Over time, too much dopamine stimulation can lead to what doctors call dopamine burnout. That means your brain stops responding to pleasure the way it used to. You end up needing more and more stimulation to feel good, but you're left feeling worse afterward. It's a vicious cycle, especially dangerous for seniors who need their mental clarity and energy for daily tasks, health management, and simply enjoying life. This isn't about guilt or shame, it's about knowing what's happening inside your body. If you're always feeling tired, mentally foggy, or emotionally flat, it might be time to take a hard look at your habits. Give your nervous system a break. Space things out, let your body reset. You might be surprised by how much better you feel. Aging doesn't mean giving things up. It means making smarter choices that help you stay energized and sharp for the long haul. Here's something most people don't talk about. Masturbation might actually be messing with your sleep. You might think it helps you relax before bed. But as you get older, your body doesn't respond the same way it did at 30. Instead of drifting off into deep, restful sleep, you might find yourself tossing and turning, waking up multiple times during the night, or feeling groggy in the morning. That's because frequent self-stimulation interferes with your sleep hormones, specifically melatonin, the one that tells your brain it's time to wind down. When you engage in anything that spikes dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical, it can throw off your body's natural clock and keep you from getting the deep rest you need. Take Gerald, 74. For example, he prided himself on waking up early and getting things done. But over the last couple of years, he couldn't figure out why he was waking up several times each night. No matter how early he went to bed, he tried cutting back on coffee, avoiding screens, and sticking to a sleep schedule, but nothing worked. Then he learned how dopamine and melatonin interact. He made one small change. He cut out that habit before bed, and within a week, his sleep improved. He was sleeping deeper, waking up less, and feeling like his old self again in the mornings. The problem is, an overstimulated nervous system right before bed makes it harder to truly relax. And for older adults, who may already be dealing with things like restless legs, muscle cramps, or anxiety, adding more stimulation only makes matters worse. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it affects your memory, mood, immune system, and even heart health. It builds up over time, and before you know it, you're running on empty without knowing why. If you're waking up several times a night, feeling unrested, or relying on naps to get through the day, it might be time to look at your evening habits. Try spacing out that activity, especially before bedtime. Give your body a chance to settle naturally. You'll likely find that better sleep leads to better energy, clearer thinking, and a much stronger sense of well-being overall. It's a simple change that can make a huge difference. Let's be honest, if you're over 65 and finding yourself getting up to use the bathroom more often, especially at night, it's frustrating. And while you might chalk it up to just aging, there's another factor you might not have considered: frequent masturbation. For many older men, too much stimulation can irritate the prostate and lead to increased urinary urgency, discomfort, or even that feeling of not emptying your bladder completely. This becomes even more of an issue if you already have an enlarged prostate, which is extremely common after 60. The medical term is BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, and it causes the prostate to press on the bladder, making those sudden urges even worse. Now add frequent sexual stimulation to the mix, and you've got even more pressure and sensitivity in that area. Over time, this can lead to mild inflammation and increased discomfort that wasn't there before. One man, Frank, 71, was making 3 to 4 trips to the bathroom every night. He thought it was just part of getting older. But after talking to his doctor and making a few small changes to his personal habits, those trips dropped to just once or twice a night. He was sleeping better, feeling more in control, and no longer dealing with that nagging, uncomfortable pressure. Another issue is how frequent stimulation impacts your pelvic floor, the group of muscles that help control urination. If those muscles are overstimulated or fatigued, it can lead to subtle incontinence, like leaks when you sneeze, cough, or laugh. It's not something most men want to talk about, but it's a reality many deal with. The good news? You don't have to give anything up completely. It's about moderation, reducing the frequency and adding some simple pelvic floor exercises, like Kegels, can go a long way in keeping things strong and functional. So if you're noticing more trips to the bathroom, trouble holding it in, or that always gotta go feeling, don't ignore it. Your body might be telling you that it's time to ease off and let things settle. Make a few adjustments, give your prostate a break, and you might be surprised at how much better you feel, sleep, and function throughout the day. If you've been feeling moody, irritated, or just not quite yourself lately, it might not be just getting older. It could be your hormones, and frequent masturbation might be throwing them off more than you realize. Every time you engage in this activity, your brain releases a rush of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. In small amounts, that's fine, but when it happens too often, it can disrupt the delicate balance between dopamine, testosterone, and oxytocin, the hormones that affect your mood, motivation, and overall emotional stability. And as you age, your body doesn't regulate these chemicals as efficiently as it once did. That means the highs don't feel as high, and the crashes feel much lower. Tom, 67, started noticing that one day he felt upbeat and energized, and the next he was sluggish, annoyed, or even a little down. It didn't make sense. His diet was fine. He was getting some exercise, and he had no major health issues. Then he looked at his daily habits and noticed a pattern. After cutting back on how often he engaged in self-pleasure, his moods evened out. He wasn't snapping at his wife or zoning out during the day. His energy became more consistent, and his focus improved. This isn't just about mood swings, it's about long-term hormone balance. Too much stimulation throws off the natural rhythm of your body. When your brain gets flooded with dopamine too often, it stops responding to it the way it used to. That means you may start needing more stimulation just to feel normal, and when you don't get it, you feel flat, restless, or low. That's called dopamine desensitization, and it's a real issue, especially in older adults whose brains take longer to bounce back. The good news? You don't have to give it up completely. You just need to give your body more time between sessions. Let your hormone levels reset. Think of it like a good night's sleep. If you don't give yourself enough recovery time, everything starts to suffer. If you've been feeling emotionally off, low on motivation, or just tired of the roller coaster, it might be time to slow down. Your mood, energy, and peace of mind are worth protecting. Make adjustments now, and you'll feel the difference. Let's be blunt, if things don't feel the way they used to, or if it takes more effort than before to get the same results, you're not imagining it. It's not just aging, it could be nerve fatigue caused by overstimulation. When you engage in frequent masturbation, your body's nerve endings, especially in sensitive areas, can become less responsive over time. Your nervous system is built to adapt to repeated stimulation, and the more often it's triggered, the more it tunes down the sensation. This means you may find yourself needing longer sessions or stronger stimulation to feel the same effect. That's a clear sign your nerves are tired, not broken. Think about it like this. If you listen to loud music every day, your ears get used to it, and eventually, it takes even louder volume to get that same buzz. The same concept applies here. One man, Alan, 70, started realizing it took more time and effort to feel the same level of satisfaction. At first, he figured it was just normal aging, but after talking with his doctor and reading up on the science, he learned that too much self-stimulation was actually dulling his sensitivity. He took a few weeks off, then spaced things out, and guess what? Things started feeling better again. His body responded more naturally, and the experience felt more fulfilling. Your nerve endings need rest, just like any other part of your body. If you overuse them, they wear down, and the older you get, the longer it takes for your nervous system to bounce back. That doesn't mean you have to stop altogether, but it does mean you should give your body time to reset. Cutting back just a little can actually help restore natural feeling and responsiveness, something many older adults don't even realize is possible. So if you've been wondering why things aren't working like they used to, or why it takes more stimulation to get the same result, listen to your body. Don't push harder. Pull back and give yourself space to heal. Your body's not broken, it's just asking for a break. The reward? A better, more natural experience, and more confidence in your own skin. Here's something most people won't admit, but it needs to be said. When masturbation becomes your main way to cope with stress, loneliness, or boredom, it can slowly start pulling you away from real human connection. And that's dangerous, especially as you get older. We're wired for relationships, real conversations, hugs, laughs, shared meals. But when that connection is replaced with solo habits, even natural ones like self-pleasure, it can lead to emotional detachment. You might not notice it at first, but over time, you may feel less interested in reaching out, less motivated to attend social events, or just feel emotionally flat. That's not just a coincidence, it's your brain adjusting to quick, artificial comfort instead of meaningful interaction. Think about Mike, 68. He used to meet up with friends twice a week for coffee and cards. But slowly, he started pulling away. He didn't feel like going out. He felt more tired, more isolated, and emotionally out of touch. What changed? His coping habits. Without realizing it, he'd been using solo pleasure as a way to escape, but it was keeping him in a cycle of emotional distance. Once he recognized the pattern, he started cutting back and made an effort to reconnect with people. Within a few weeks, his mood lifted, he laughed more, and he felt genuinely alive again. The truth is, oxytocin, the hormone released when we hug, talk face to face, or share a meaningful moment, is essential for emotional health. Masturbation can give you a little burst of it, but it's not the same as real connection. If you're spending more time alone and less time with others, and you've been feeling a little empty or down, don't ignore that. Your brain and your heart are telling you something. This isn't about guilt, it's about recognizing that too much isolation, no matter how it's filled, can leave you emotionally malnourished. Make the effort to pick up the phone, visit a friend, go to that church group, or say yes to lunch. You don't need to go cold turkey, but you do need balance. Don't trade real connection for short-term comfort. Your joy, relationships, and emotional well-being are worth far more, and they'll carry you further into these golden years with purpose and peace. Let's get real. If you're over 65 and noticing more bathroom urgency, leaks when you cough or laugh, or waking up several times a night to pee, your pelvic floor might be weaker than it used to be. And yes, frequent masturbation could be making it worse. Most people don't think about their pelvic floor until something goes wrong. But this group of muscles is crucial. It supports your bladder, prostate, and lower abdomen. Overuse, especially from repeated stimulation, can cause those muscles to tire out, just like any other part of your body. And when that happens, it leads to poor bladder control, increased urgency, and even a bit of leakage. This isn't just about embarrassment, it's about quality of life. Nobody wants to feel like they need to know where every bathroom is at all times. Nobody wants to deal with the anxiety of accidents in public. But that's exactly what can happen when your pelvic floor gets overstimulated and undersupported. The constant pressure from too much self-pleasure doesn't give those muscles time to rest or rebuild. Over time, they weaken, and it shows up in your day-to-day routine in ways you can't ignore. Take Dan, 73. He noticed he was going to the bathroom way more often than usual and sometimes even had a few close calls. He figured it was just old age. But after learning about how his habits might be contributing, he decided to cut back and started doing simple pelvic exercises, just a few minutes a day. Within weeks, his control improved, he slept better, felt more confident going out, and wasn't living in fear of accidents. You don't need to stop everything, but you do need to pay attention. If your bladder feels unpredictable or you're making more trips to the bathroom than you used to, don't just accept it as normal. Small changes, like spacing out activity and adding daily pelvic floor exercises, can make a big difference. Kegels aren't just for women, they work for men too. Protecting your pelvic health means more freedom, better sleep, and a whole lot more peace of mind. Don't let silence or embarrassment keep you from doing something about it. You've got the power to take control, one smart choice at a time. Alright, let's bring it home. Look, nobody's saying you've got to stop doing something that's natural. We're just saying be smart about it. As we get older, our bodies change. What didn't matter at 30 might have real consequences at 65 or 70. From heart strain to sleep issues, energy dips to bladder control, it all adds up. And the truth is, too much of a good thing can start to wear you down. Even if you don't notice it right away. This isn't about shame, it's about staying in control of your health, your body, and your peace of mind. You've lived a lot of life. You've earned the right to feel good. But let's do it in a way that keeps us feeling strong, clear-headed, and full of energy. So let me ask you, have you noticed any of these changes in yourself? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your story. And if this video helped open your eyes to something new, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to HT Wisdom. We're in this together, and every bit of knowledge helps. Stay sharp, stay balanced, and keep living your golden years with wisdom and purpose.